So I reached 100,000 subscribers in 3 months with no previous experience or an existing platform, and most of what helped me grow so fast had nothing to do with what people usually talk about when it comes to YouTube growth. And so in this video I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and how you can do the same even if it's your first YouTube channel ever. And if you genuinely follow everything I show you in this video, you will reach your 100,000 subscribers sooner or later. The strategies I'm about to show you work for educational channels, meaning basically any channel that teaches people something or helps people solve some kind of a problem. With that being said, let's get into it. There's one mistake I see almost every new creator make that they genuinely think is a smart move, but in reality it's actually killing their growth and the whole reach of their channel. And that mistake is copying and trying to replicate their idols and favorite creators. It basically means that you look at the biggest creators in your niche and without even realizing it, you start copying their editing style, their thumbnails, and in some cases even the way they speak. And the reason people do that is because first, when you're new to YouTube, you have no proof or confidence that your own ideas work. And so copying others feels way safer because someone has already carved the path and you would just simply have to walk it without getting your own hands dirty. But that seemingly easy path is actually the main reason why most new creators never make it, and I'll get to that in a second. The second reason why a lot of new creators fall into this trap is because almost every YouTube guru will literally tell you to just copy what's working. And there's definitely some truth to that, but there's a huge difference between understanding why something works and just copying what you see others doing. So now we can get to the most important question. Why can't you just copy the exact same style as the biggest creators in your niche and get the exact same results they get? Let me explain you exactly what's going to happen when you copy someone else and how it's destroying your chances of going viral. So let's say this is the video that you posted. Now YouTube algorithm learns what content is similar to what and what your video is about. If you copy another creator's formats, editing style, or topics, you're essentially competing directly with them for the exact same audience. When you're making videos about social skills, you're directly competing with a Charisma on Command. When you're making videos about business, you're directly competing with Alex Hormozi. And when you're making videos about confidence, you're directly competing with the Wizard List. And the YouTube algorithm will always push the established channel over the new one. It will always push the better channel because that's what people choose to watch. And so when you're copying someone else's channel, you're not just copying a person, you're literally entering a competition you cannot win. Unless you do what I'm about to show you. So how do you actually stand out and go viral when you're competing against creators who have been doing this way longer than you have? Every channel that manages to go viral and outgrow more established creators has these three components. And if you get all these three right, going viral is basically inevitable. And if you already have a channel that isn't where you want it to be, I can almost guarantee that either one of these three is weak or completely missing. So I'm going to show you exactly what all three are and how you can fix each one today. So the first component is your value. Value is basically how satisfied your viewer feels after watching your video. Did they learn something they didn't know before? Did something click for them? Did you give them a solution to a problem they actually have or a perspective they hadn't considered before? And a huge part of your value is your own opinions and your own way of explaining things, because if inside your video you just share the same recycled advice that everyone in your niche has already heard thousands of times, people will just click off within the first minute. So here's exactly what you need to do to make your value basically impossible to ignore. So go on YouTube and start analyzing the videos in your niche. For example, let's say you're in the self-improvement niche. Now look at the biggest channels, watch a few videos and basically ask yourself, what is everyone in here doing the same way? What feels repetitive? And what you personally would love to see more of that nobody is doing. For example, let's say you want to make videos about confidence and you notice that everyone is just too motivational and vague, but you want more logic. You want confidence advice that's practical and specific, not motivational. Or maybe you want to make videos about makeup and you realize that most creators are too focused on expensive products and you want more budget-friendly tutorials. And this isn't about finding some crazy unique idea that has never existed before. It just means finding the thing you actually care about and don't see see enough of in your niche. And the next thing, and this will give you some of the most exceptional video ideas and titles for your channel. So you go to Google and just start searching things related to your niche. If you are a dog trainer, you type in something like how to stop my dog. And as you can see, there are like 10 different suggestions that people are literally searching for right now. And you can also add words like with, for, and so on to get even more specific ideas. If you make videos about confidence, you search how to be confident, and Google will literally finish the sentence for you with the most searched options. Most of the ideas here are literally genius and already proven to be something people would actually want to watch. These are the things people are actually typing into Google because they desperately need an answer. So just to quickly go over it, analyze the biggest channels in your niche and find out what's missing in your opinion. Then when you make the videos, make sure to cover the topics in your own way, with your own opinions, your own examples, and your own personality. And lastly, use Google to find out what people in your space are actively searching for. Just keep in mind that the world doesn't need another Alex Hormozi copycat or another The Wizard Lees. It needs something new, and that something new can be you. Now let's move on to the second component, because as I said, if even one of these is missing, you're basically doomed. The second component is your first impression. Your first impression is everything the viewer sees before they even decide to click on your video. It's your thumbnail, it's your title, and the overall vibe of your channel. If your thumbnail doesn't stand out or looks exactly the same like every other thumbnail in your niche, then people will just scroll right past you. And then it won't matter how good your video actually is, because they will never even watch it. So here's how you can actually make your videos stand out. When it comes to thumbnails, literally everything works. Super advanced and colorful thumbnails work, minimalistic and plain thumbnails work, and even thumbnails that have no design at all work. The only thing your thumbnail needs to do is stand out and be appealing to the human mind. And the psychology behind it is actually really simple. Imagine you have a herd of sheep and every single one of them is white except for one. That one black sheep is the one everyone notices, not because black is necessarily a better color, but because it's different from everything around it. And it works the exact same way on YouTube. So instead of looking at thumbnails in your own niche and trying to copy or compete with them, here's what I want you to do. Open YouTube again and start looking at thumbnails from completely different niches. If you're in the business niche, go look at thumbnails in self-improvement, cooking, dog training, psychology, anything outside of your space. And you're not just looking for something to copy, you're looking for a style, a color combination, or a vibe that catches your attention and you feel like it fits your channel. And after you've spent some time analyzing thumbnails from completely different niches, you are going to do something that will literally 10x your chances of going viral. Do not just limit yourself to YouTube. Feed your brain with design from everywhere. For example, movie posters, book covers, Pinterest, ads, magazine covers, packaging designs, everything. Basically train yourself to notice what catches your eye in every single context. Because good and interesting design is everywhere, and most creators only look for other YouTube thumbnails for inspiration, which means they end up creating something that looks exactly like everything else already on the platform. So think outside of what YouTube has conditioned you to think a thumbnail should look like. Try different styles, colors, and layouts, and just experiment until you land on something that you're genuinely proud of. Then, once you have made your thumbnail, do this one test. Take a screenshot of the thumbnail that you just made, and then take a screenshot of your YouTube homepage. And now put the screenshot of your YouTube thumbnail on a screenshot of your YouTube homepage. Look at it next to everything else and basically ask yourself honestly if it stands out, and would you click on this specifically out of every other option. If the answer is no, then you need to improve it. Check if you can use more contrasting or different colors so your thumbnail doesn't blend in with everything around it. Then make sure that there's one clear focal point, meaning there should be one main thing on your thumbnail that instantly grabs your attention. If there's too much going on at once, it becomes overwhelming and people will just scroll past. And lastly, make sure that the idea is clear and something that people actually care about. The thumbnail should make someone instantly understand what the video is about and make them feel like they need to watch it. Now let's move on to the third component. The third component is skill. When you're new to YouTube, you're definitely gonna have some major skill issues, meaning that you're not so good at speaking in front of the camera, editing videos, or scripting your content. talent. And this is the component that most new creators stress about the most, because when you watch a big creator, you see someone who's confident on camera, who comes up with good ideas, edits well, and basically makes it all look effortless. And then you look at yourself and think that there's no way I can do something like that. And skill is obviously a massive factor, because if your delivery is bad, people will just click off. But the thing about skills is that they are all learnable. The people you watch that make it look effortless also had to put in the effort to learn all of those things. So if you're sitting there right now thinking that you're somehow retarded for not being able to speak in front of the camera or edit the video, you're not. You're just new, and I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that. So here's what you need to do to actually build your skill as fast as possible. First, analyze your own situation and figure out what are your biggest weaknesses. Is it speaking in front of the camera? Is it coming up with ideas? Is it editing or something else? Be honest with yourself, because most people already know what their weakest point is. They just don't want to deal with it. When you have found your biggest weakness, you are going to start practicing this exact thing every single day in small portions. You're basically going to start making mini YouTube videos that you won't post yet. Take one tiny topic from your niche, write a short 300 to 400 word script for it, and then film yourself saying it on camera. If you are a dog trainer, you take something like how to stop your dog from shitting on the carpet. You write a script, you film it, then you watch it back and figure out what you need to improve the next time. If you are into self-improvement or any other niche, you do the exact same thing. You take one small concept, for example, why most people never change. You write it out and you film it. The first 6 attempts will feel genuinely painful to watch, but if you literally commit to this, it will take you about 2 weeks of daily practice to go from feeling completely retarded and unnatural on camera to feeling like you actually know what you're doing. So first, just keep in mind that every single person you admire started exactly from where you are right now, and then figure out what you're bad at and start practicing it in small portions. And now I'm going to share one thing with you that will completely change the way you approach your entire channel. In order to go viral as fast as possible and actually build a strong YouTube channel, you need to have confidence in your own abilities. If right now you think that you don't have the talent or the creativity to stand out, and you can't possibly compete with other creators, and it's just too much and you won't be able to pull this off, then I want you to think about something real quick. You chose a business model that only a tiny percentage of people in the world ever even try. You decided to start your own YouTube channel when your family and friends probably thought it was unrealistic. So you were able to think differently than the people closest to you, and now you're telling me that being different from other creators on YouTube is where you draw the line. You can differentiate from the people closest to you, but you can't differentiate from people on YouTube. So if you think that you don't have what it takes, reframe that shitty belief about yourself and think straight. Now, I understand that all of this can feel like a lot. There are still so many things to focus on and still so many things that you don't know yet. And on top of that, you're probably also thinking what's going to happen if you post your first YouTube video and people are gonna leave negative comments, or how your friends are going to charge you. And I fully understand that, and I'm here to help you with all of that. So if there's something specific you're struggling with, or you have any questions, then let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video on that. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.